Still a low mileage example. So getting that engine replaced shouldn't be that big of a deal. It's more of an inconvenience, right? And I made sure I wanted to touch base on this, right? We're say this engine still gets covered, and I put myself. We're in a really special spot because John purchases all these cars, and we kind of just we get the opportunity to track them. We do this, we do that, but then I put myself in 90%, 95% of the population, right? That probably has a note on their car, and if I was in their shoes where the car goes into the shop, because they don't tell you like an exact ETA on the engine. So it could be 2 weeks, it could be 3 weeks, it could be 2 months. John is a quote unquote Porsche VIP, so they'll expedite everything as much as they can. But I can't imagine having a car payment and your car sitting at the shop. But it's
that would be the worst. Like imagine you get this car and you're just like, dude, I finally got into like the Porsche track game, right? Mm-hmm. And then you're hyped, and then the engine just blows, which I know you want to go down another rabbit hole real quick, but mm-hmm. This leads me to my first question, right? Does Porsche have an engine blow up problem?
Well, so
and let's add some context to this, right? Let's add some context because there's been sparkly oil in the GT4 for some time, mm-hmm. And for those of you who don't know, your oil's not supposed to shimmer.
No.
Your oil's not supposed to shimmer.
No.
4RS has some sparkly oil. Mm-hmm. We have friends that also have some sparkly oil going on, and that's usually a precursor to something worse happening. Mm-hmm. So what's the deal here?
I think I'm kind of used to getting used to seeing sparkly oil. A friend of ours actually, we got an oil sample and he sent it out and the numbers looked somewhat normal. They didn't look like too far out of range because you could send your oil out to Blackstone and they tell you how much zinc, how much copper, and then certain materials mean there's certain wear here and there. But yeah, lately in these cars, and that's what I'm going to say, in these current cars is we've been seeing a lot of shiny oil. Like in the GT4, it wasn't a concern for me because it's like eventually this car is going to have that other failure, like they still haven't torn it down, but the car didn't chunk a bearing, right? It didn't chunk a rod because the bearing locked up. It wasn't a bearing problem. I think it's going to be the same as before because it seems like we lost one side of the engine because I remember I started the car and it kind of sounded like it's half running.
Yeah.
So I think we lost one side of the engine with that cam problem. And the problem is there's a phaser that adds timing and removes timing, or it basically adds and removes timing to the camshaft with oil pressure, and they control it just to get you in like a better power band. The bolts that connect the phaser to the camshaft are aluminum. And what they say happens is they shear, and the reason they shear most of the time is because they loosen. They're aluminum. They loosen, and then they kind of start going back and forth, and they eventually just snap, right?
Yeah.
So does Porsche engines have a problem? Like I said, we did some testing. They seem normal, but I am going to say compared to 991 generation cars and 981, so basically the previous generation of the Cayman and the 911s, I just never saw this shiny of oil.
Well, and then it's not just that, right? It's the fact that this is engine number 2 for us. The second most viral video that we've had was this car blowing up
the first time
last year.
Yeah.
And well, I don't remember what that issue was. What was it? Was it the same problem?
The same problem.
So, okay, so we're 2 for 2, same problem.
Yep.
So why not address the cause?
So there's mixed, and someone left it in the comments, are like, hasn't Porsche already fixed this issue with the aluminum bolts and replaced them with steel bolts? I don't think so. I don't think so.
They said they asked if there was a recall for that. So I don't know, maybe if there's somebody from Porsche that could let us know, but I haven't, not that I know, you would know before I do. So has there been a recall that you know of?
I don't think there's a recall for this. I don't think there has been a recall. What I figured, like even from the OEM engine to our first replacement, you would figure like it's got the fix, right?
Yeah.
Obviously it did. I mean, they haven't torn it apart, but from a half running engine, that's gonna be the issue. You would think they would just go to like a stronger bolts, but that's obviously not the case. And the problem is like when you get an engine from Germany or you're getting a new engine, I don't think you can unseal the engine to see, right? You're kind of just stuck with what they send you.
So I guess Porsche hasn't addressed this issue then, right?
I think they haven't, no.
Because if they're just sending, if it's going from Germany to here, and then they're just slapping the engine back into the car with the same issue, then again,
same thing's gonna happen.
Does Porsche have an engine blow-up issue?
Yeah, I think they still do, and I don't think it's been addressed. But these engines are currently also hard to get, which means that this is a commonality. But let's just keep in mind, this is not an engine that came from the motorsports side of Porsche, right? Every engine in the 911s or GT3s comes from the motorsport division. This is an engine from like an older Carrera S. It's a 4-liter, right? Because they bumped it up from the previous 3.8. So now it's a 4-liter, but it's not a motorsports-born engine. And how many people that have GT4s are tracking them as much as we are, right? Is the second question. So if you were to drive the car normally, just day in, day out, track it once a year, the car's probably gonna live for a good while.
I don't know, man. I guess this to me goes back to like if you say the car is designed to do X, and then you take it to go do X, and it blows up. I mean, the car only had like what, 4,000 or 5,000 miles on it.
It's got 4,700 miles, yeah, total.
So I mean, it's one of those situations where it's like, it's unfortunate to see, right? And
For sure.
like I said, to me, the only reason I bring up the question is because we kind of anticipated this happening, and even when we made the initial video about whether or not this can get into the sub 20, the comments were just lit up with, after your third engine. It's like, okay, so it's like a well-known issue within the Porsche community of drivers.
Yeah, definitely a well-known issue. And I think this is also what's driving me to want to get the car to a certain lap time, because I feel like so many people who've driven the GT4 on track, after a few events or after a year or two, like they just don't want to be dealing with this issue, and they just give up on the car entirely, right? And in our case, like if we're down one car, it's okay. Yeah. Or if it goes down for a month or 2 months, it's okay. But it like some people, it's the car they drive to the track, drive back to dinner. That
must suck, dude. Imagine you drive your GT4 to the track and you're like, oh, let's go grab dinner. And then you get into your GT4 to drive to dinner and it blows up on the way there.
It blows up on track, yeah. And then the last thing you want to do is call roadside from the track. Like that's definitely a huge no-no to do.
Why?
All that stays, like, so when you submit a roadside request, it asks you where you are you safe, what happened, and I think it's just like a red flag for Porsche or maybe for the dealer. Like,
so should we be making this content?
Well, maybe we shouldn't. No, there's, I think there's, that just, I think Porsche is willing to replace the engine regardless, but that kind of just lights a fire under it. Like, at least
I mean,
don't be too obvious about it.
I know what you're talking about, right? Because I've had issues with just like tire warranties, where they go, "Where were you driving? Was there construction there?" And it's like, okay, well maybe you rolled over some nails and they don't want to cover the tire anymore. So I get it. You don't want to give them a reason not to cover it.
Yeah.
But to me, it's just one of those things where, if you say the car can do this and it can't do it safely without damaging the vehicle, I think it's still on them. But that's besides the point, I guess. So the engine's gone. Engine number 2. So engine number 3 means for sure sub 220 lap, according to the comments. But I guess what do we do now? How long is it going to take to get the car back?
How long it's going to take to get the car back? Right now, there's a disparity in engine arrival. If you do a long block is block heads, or if you do a full engine, I think they both have different ETAs. So our service advisor is working to see. But like I said, it could be a couple weeks, it could be a month and change, it could be 2 months.
Now, I know that you dropped off the white car, or the, what is it, ice metallic gray.
White car.
3RS. Is that one didn't blow up on track, but is that suffering from a similar issue? What's the issue with that?
They don't know yet. They won't be tearing into the engine until the new engine arrives. So we don't know exactly the culprit. Again, that one had very shiny oil, and I guess we caught it, or the car caught itself by having low oil pressure, right? And that's one of the biggest concerns when you are out on track. It's not, mechanical stuff is always going to happen. Doesn't matter how prepared you are. Like, parts are parts, right? Some of them are going to fail. Like, there's a ratio of parts that are going to fail to parts that are going to pass, and it can be manufactured at the same day, same time, right? The whole engine stuff, obviously we know it's a problem, but my biggest concern or what we got away with this past weekend was the fact that if the car, the failure could become so catastrophic that the car chunks a rod through the side of the block. Now we're spilling oil. Now the car has the potential to catch fire. At that point, you can what if it has an oil slick mid-corner, and then you end up, I don't know, finding the wall, right? So the whole engine thing we've gotten away with it twice, right? And that's why I asked them the question, like, do we continue doing this? Because we've quote unquote got lucky twice already. And by the way, hey Matt and hey Miguel.
Oh, hey guys. I mean, I guess we're letting the people dictate that, because I don't think you're capable of just sitting in a car and being like, we're not going to send it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's. We read the comments, and it looks like we're probably going to go on this rabbit hole. But all right, engine blew up. Nothing we can do about it now.
No.
We are sitting. Well, we're not sitting on the sideline because there's still other cars to drive. But yellow car is taking a vacation for the time being. Now, I guess the next question is, sub 220 lap on this car. Is it feasible in its current state? Based off of what you've done, are there changes you can make to have it get to that point? What are we doing?
So I think we have a lot to work with, right? This past time that we took the car out, we were on Hoosiers, but they were grooved Hoosiers, right? Which I could say are about a half a second to a second off pace from a Hoosier R7, which is more of a slick or closer to a slick. It's a DOT slick is what it is. So it's about half a second to a second off, right? And we were half a second, I don't know, we could have gone super close to our old lap time, which we did in good weather and obviously better tires. Now, the easy way to do this would probably be to try to put more power at the car, right? Just to get more horsepower, get it closer to.
So
that would be the easy way.
You blow up an engine, and then the solution to go faster is to add more potential points of failure by modifying it through adding more power.
Exactly. Exactly what we're not gonna do. So it was recommended, and it was recommended to me by a few people, like, hey, we have a tune that also helps the car run cooler. It gives the car a little bit more power, and there's obviously power packs. Dude, I have a set of headers at the shop waiting for the car. Like that, I decided not to throw in because I'm like, this thing's a ticking time bomb, and I don't know if I want it to go to Porsche with headers.
Shoot,
And
it's going to get a brand new engine, so we might as well just get it while it's good.
well, yeah, but I think Porsche will start looking at us funny if we have different headers on the car, no cats. Like imagine if I would have tuned it for this weekend.
Oh, no.
And the car blew up.
But I mean,
like
I guess
we'd be in a different spot, right?
I guess that's the point, right? Is that we do these videos not to like. Sure, you can throw an unlimited amount of money into one of these cars, and get whatever lap time you want to get by throwing money at it, right? I mean, I think that's safe to say. But what's the car really capable of at its base level, which is what you already found out in the 4RS, and then obviously with the GT4 not being as, I guess, track prepped from Porsche, you threw 10K worth of mods on it. And now we're trying to see if, not necessarily throwing $50,000 at the car to close the money gap, but throwing 10 grand will close the performance gap on that car. And I think that's one of the benefits of doing that, because not a lot of people have 10 grand to just throw into that car to begin with, let alone 50 grand or even another 150 to buy a 4RS.
Yeah, and there's so much more we can still do. So we didn't mention it on the video, but I did a Varus splitter on the car, Dundon dive planes, Dundon wing, and we did some tractive shocks. And the car's had an over axle pipe for a bit. Whether that adds horsepower or not, it removes the second cat, so that basically makes it like a 981 exhaust. Anyways, the car still has a lot to gain because it still has rubber bushings up front, so the car could feel better on the wheel. I think the rubber bushings just will give us a bad feel, but maybe the better bushings will give us slightly more performance or maybe more consistency across the tire. I think in good weather, it's gonna be a 20.0 or it's gonna be a 220 realm car, and it just doesn't have the power.
I've been riding with Felix for a while now, and I guarantee you, if it gets 20.0, he's gonna find a way to get it 19.99.
We're gonna try. We're gonna try, but I think that weekend too, and Matt's here to be honest with us. That weekend, a lot of our cars were like really off pace. We went out the first session, so the first session that we were out, I came back, obviously blew up the car.
First session, I don't think we included that in the video, right? And I don't know if it's easy to tell, but that was first session of the first day. And I wasn't there. I was out running around like a madman trying to get all the footage. And I come back and he's like, I blew it up. I was like, okay, well, there you go. But
and if
first session of the first.
And if that's the only car you had, now you're out track fees as well for the weekend and garage fees. So,
are you making the case against getting a Porsche? I mean, listen, Matt pointed out that the reason you go with a Porsche is buying it under warranty to track them and be protected from catastrophic failure of the drivetrain. And I think, yes, absolutely. If you're going to get one of these cars for the track,
get it under warranty.
Get it under warranty. Because how much is one of these engines?
I guess for this car, it's probably more affordable, and it depends on how much you're getting. But this car, I mean, this engine should be at least, I don't know, 40, 50,000. The previous
affordable.
Yeah, the previous GT3 RS engines were like 80,000, and everything's only gone up. So we could be talking about
affordable. Buying a whole extra car just to put it into another car. But either way, that's besides the point.
Yeah, extended warranty costs like $5-6 grand for these cars.
Oh, that's completely worth it.
No brainer.
That's a no brainer. Like, you get a Porsche. It's like a lot of the memes that I see about Volkswagens, because I used to have one. It's like they used to have like the bat signal, but it was a check engine light. So maybe it's a Volkswagen thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, since Volkswagen owns all these cars. But anyway, back to the sub 220 lap, Felix. With all the aero, how did the car feel? Did it give you more confidence that it'll get to that point?
For sure, it definitely gave me more confidence, and there's, like, overall the lap was slower, but there's some places where it really clawed a lot back compared to the previous lap in good weather and good tires.
So
And that was
turn
places
two
like
was a good place.
so just to put it in context, how bad the weather was, is I was going the same speed through turn 2, or there was no gain through turn 2 by me keeping it flat now and I'm also on less good tires, whatever. There was no mile per hour difference between previously lifting, turning the car, lifting, and then going back to throttle, and right now staying pinned.
So
on
Matt,
the
is
throttle.
this true? Is this true? Was the weather that bad? Matt, let us know. Keep Felix honest, okay?
Yeah, but yeah, so we saw, like I said in the video, we saw a couple moments of brilliance, like definitely into 3, the car felt super composed, and as I start getting more comfortable, I'll definitely start pushing the aero a little bit more. Also said it on the video, like the car initially had really good turn in, but then the front end started struggling a little bit. So I think I just need to move balance a little bit forward just to get the car better rotated. Because I never had a problem with the rear, I think just one time through 6. So the car needs to be on the nose because these Caymans don't turn.
Shit, when they turn, they'll turn all right.
When they turn, yeah.
They turn all
but
right.
It's,
So okay, so now with all the okay, you mentioned making the front sway bar on the soft setting.
yep.
Um,
So the car is currently where where it
medium.
was with you. Medium in the front, soft in the rear to add a little bit more grip to the rear. That's where we're at currently.
okay, any changes to the rear of the car? I would assume no, right? Like you wouldn't add more angle to the wing to add more downforce. That would just increase how much grip you have on the rear, thus kind of undoing what you would do on the front at that point, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to add more wing to it because I feel like the car felt pretty good and we're already flat through 2. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start like moving grip forward, and if the rear starts getting unstable, maybe we add a little bit more click.
Yeah.
But I'm obviously chasing the slow speed stuff first, and then I'm going to go and chase the high speed stuff second. For now, I just want like a balanced high speed. But I did say that I'm going to soften the front bar just to get a little bit more grip in the front, but I'll probably end up softening and then softening the front and taking away from the rear. So going to medium in the rear, soft in the front. So basically add to the front, remove from the rear. Is probably going to be my next game plan on that car with the current alignment and the rake that's currently in the car.
Matt's backing you up. He says that with better weather, maybe a 1.5 seconds gained. So that puts you at like a what you run, almost a 220?
I almost did it to 22.
222?
Yeah.
Man, come
2.5.
on. Come on.
On those tires, okay, so would that mean that it's a 220.5 on those tires, or does that mean
220.5 on those tires.
doubt it?
I mean, that's according to Matt, all right? And we're taking Matt's word as the gospel here,
The
okay?
gospel.
So, okay, you almost got it, a 222 out of it. And that's with you still working through learning the upgrade to the car.
Yeah.
What does this mean? Let's just say we had a full weekend's worth of time on that car. Would the changes you had made help you get past that point? Because I think it would kind of be a bad look for part manufacturers if ultimately we ended up putting all this money into the car and then we just ended up with the same lap time. Like, is that a good look? I don't think so.
It's definitely not a good look. I think if I would have had the car for a little bit longer. By the way, the track attacks, the tires that I were on first session or when they're high tread depth, they usually don't feel that well. They just don't, and I've heard this from a lot of people. It's not just me thinking this. So they don't feel that great. So I felt like after the first day, we would have shaved some tread off of them, and then the second day with morning weather, I think we would have for sure been in the 22s. Another thing I was struggling with the car or kind of like killing myself was it now feels like the 4RS, and I was rolling throttle in some places, and I could afford to be more brave in the throttle because the car has less horsepower and it also has less torque, right? So there was much to learn from this first session. I think we could have gotten in the 22s as is, so then you shave a 1.5 seconds like Matt said. and we are in the 20s in good weather. Throw Pirellis on it, 19s.
Hey,
Maybe.
You know there are manufacturers that are blaming you for saying that slicks gets you driving on slicks is faster than parts.
It's faster than what?
It's faster than getting fully kitted cars.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not gonna get into it, but yeah, I mean, it would really, if you're a parts manufacturer, I mean, it would really suck to sell parts to a customer and then the customer not see any improvement, right? But you gotta be realistic. Coda too, like Coda, we now have an apron at 6. Coda, they'll shave down a bump here. Coda, they'll do this here. You can't compare lap times at Coda from one month to the other, honestly. Because Coda changes, Coda does change. I'm talking about just the track. And then you add weather to that, and then you add humidity. So people have to also be aware that you throw parts on your car, and there could be some steps back before you go forward.
And that's the one thing that you mentioned in the video, right? Is that you I guess, I don't want to say you regressed a little bit, but you did have to take some time to relearn the build of the car. So do you want to get into comparing the old lap versus the more recent one?
Yeah, we can definitely do that. But before we get to that, so we've been harping on a 220 lap at Coda, right? But we didn't say why that is our goal, right? And it's simply our goal at Coda because, I said it in the video, a lot of cars with good power, good aero, they struggle to get there. It is truly like an invisible barrier that it's super hard to break into. And a lot of these people, like I said, that have owned GT4s have simply given up on them. They've gotten close. Colop said he's in the 21s. I haven't seen the video. I've been in the 22s.
Felix always trying to
What's his name? Another friend of ours, he's been in the 23s. And then in the previous car, the 981, we were in the 24s. So I think a 20 from this car is a big ask, and it's gonna take everything to be there. And I think that makes me look forward to it, right? Because the weather's gonna have to be there. I'm gonna have to be there as a driver.
I mean, it's a big challenge.
It's a challenge,
It's a big challenge to take
and I find
on.
it somewhat unrealistic, but it's
If it was unrealistic, I don't think you'd be going for it.
well, it's kind of like just outside of my reach, and I don't know.
It's at your fingertips.
Yeah, it's at my fingertips, and I'm kind of just like, come on, baby, come on. So I think I don't know.
Listen, I think with a capable driver, it's attainable, but it has to be realistic in the sense that you understand that it's not going to be like an easy task, right? I mean, when you started doing the 4RS, the first goal was like sub 20. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, oh, let's see if we can get a 17. And they were like, oh, no, we can do a 16 instead. Yeah. So you have a very addictive personality when it comes to driving. Guarantee you, if this thing comes even close to a 220, you're going to go for that 19.
Nitrous.
It's
just spray it on the back straight, and then spray it on the front straight.
Who needs DRS at that point, right?
Nitrous.
Can you do that on the track?
What?
Can you have a nitrous
You
build?
can have a nitrous bottle for sure.
Oh, dude. Hey, like it. Share the live. Like it. If you guys want to see a nitrous kit put on, warranty definitely not going to be worth it there. Okay, so 220, very high bar of a lap. I mean, I saw somebody posting online. It's like, don't talk to me if you can't get a 225. And I'm like, dang, I can't say nothing.
Hey, you can't say anything.
But just a 220, and I'm bringing up the 225 because there are some people with very capable cars that, I mean, one of the things that really turned it on to my head, my first weekend out that I was like super slow, was that Mario, the instructor for Chin, he drives a Miata, and he was running like a 240 something in a Miata, and I looked at my best lap of that weekend, 247 or something like that. So
37, yeah.
A 225 in something like a GT4 BMW, seems like a pretty fast lap. So a 220 is just like, if it's not on video, people are gonna call bullshit.
Yeah,
If it's not on
for
video.
sure. For sure. And there's a difference, I hate to harp on this, but there's a difference between what you think your car can do and, call you back, brother. There's a difference between what you think your car can do and what it's actually doing on track. And the reason I say this is I ask a few people on track and it's like, hey, what have you run on your car, like, so that I can help you? And they're like, well, I think my car has a 16 in it. And I'm like, oh, it has a 16 in it with the Pro. And I'm like, what does that do for you? That does nothing, right? So
Now you're gonna get into the argument about.
well, I don't want to get into the argument, but
seat time versus car.
I'm trying to put a 220 on the board. That's it. I don't want I don't care if my predictives ever get into the 19s. I don't care if I chop the lap up into 37 sections, it gets into the 18s, right?
Yeah.
I just want to put a 19 on the board.
Well,
It's that simple.
Let's see if that's even possible. Do you want to go ahead and pull up the laps here? All right.
So for sure, I have it here. So for those of you who are data driven, the red right here is going to be our faster lap. The blue is going to be the slower lap. So this is old me. This is us a weekend ago or 2 weekends ago. We go here. One thing I want to show you is we have these VMAXs here for the red lap, which was the older lap. And you can tell that our fastest speeds in this February event were 150.5. And then now our fastest speeds were 147.34 and 148.
You're talking about the VMAX.
VMAX, yeah. So on the back straight.
Max velocity?
Yeah, max velocity.
Okay.
Yeah, max velocity. So we're down 3 miles an hour. And one thing I've learned from Matt's car and Larry's car is that the aero, the wing that we're using is pretty efficient. So 3 miles an hour, probably comparing good weather to not so good weather. I think we can, if we can get this car in the 150s with the aero, I'm gonna be super happy. Because then that puts us, I think, at like 135 on the front. What does that put us on the front? Here. So before, yeah, so that'll put us 133 on the front versus 130, versus 131. So if we do that, I'm gonna be super happy. But yeah, let's dive into this. If we look down here, and I'll make this a little bit bigger. This is the difference of delta between cars. So whenever the red line whenever the blue line is up, it means it's losing to the red car, and whenever it's under, it means it's gaining to the red car, right? So as we can see here initially, there's a little bit of back and forth, but overall, if you connect point A to point B, it's kind of like we were kind of losing throughout the entire lap. It wasn't kind of like I just botched one corner, and I always make this clear. Here, this delta that we're seeing here is simply because of a different line, right? One is slow in, fast out. The other one is the exact fast in, slow out. And this is what I was telling Jorge, like through 2, our speeds are super similar. So 98 to 98. And one of the cars, I basically kept it pinned, right? So maybe if we had 1 more mile an hour at apex, that mile an hour would have actually been able to be carried through. But we will find that out in good weather. But here's where we saw the biggest gain. And let me zoom into this section here, right here. So in this section, and it's 0.32 of a second from turn 3 to 4, no, 4 to 5, yes, from 4 to 5, from here to here, because we have to look at the high to the low, yeah. So here we are, if you look at the video up here, we are at turn 3, and look at the mile an hour difference here. So just the mile an hour here, previously with stickier rubber, we were going 107. I'm a little bit offline, but now we were going 117, right? So that's definitely exploiting aero, right? The car's just super composed. You had a question?
So you gain, did I hear it right? You gained 10 mile an hour?
10 mile an hour through 3, yeah. Yeah, 10 mile an hour through 3. So like I said, I was a little bit offline, if you look at this left-hand video here, the red one, previously in my previous quick video or quick lap, I'm not all the way left. I think I turned the car in and the car got a little bit light, so I corrected right. But I mean, here 106 mile an hour, and here I'm going 117. Now, if we go back and we look at the rest of the S's, we're kind of on par. They're kind of trading places back and forth. But to me, that just tells me there's more to exploit, right? Through 4, 5, 6 is still under arrow. And if we're matching through 7, and 8, that just tells me that whenever I put a sticky tire, we're gonna see like a bigger delta, right? Or at least that's what I'm hoping for. The biggest loss comes next, or one of the biggest losses, and it's gonna be this right here. So we're gonna say that this is not, that's for those of you who think that horsepower is not that significant. Oh my God, hold on guys, because I want to show you this exactly. So from the time we were on throttle to the time we hit the brakes is right here. And just with those 3 mile an hour, we lost 3/10. So just with 3 mile an hour. So nitrous would be a great solution, but I don't know if we're gonna do it.
I mean, if you want to go through engine number 4.
Yeah, and if we look at these peaks here, oh, that's too zoomed in. If we look at this here, I actually broke a couple meters later in the blue car, which just shows more potential, right? I am always somewhat conservative on the brakes, so I'm looking forward to continue to learn that car. If you continue going through the stadium section here, that's when we start seeing the line go up, down, up, down. But if you put a line straight across through here, we would kind of be trading places, how I said, one is faster in, one is slower out. And it's just me being inconsistent and having a slightly different line for both of my laps. So if you would remove just the back straight, and if you would remove the front straight, I think we would see like the cars kind of trading throughout the entirety of the lap. And to me, that's big, especially in hot weather and with lesser of a tire. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the fall. It's sticky tires are being ordered as we speak. I think it's going to be the solution for this.
So I mean, I guess what you have learned from this car so far is the fact that with the mods, you've been able to keep up with the same car on stickier rubber. So putting it on stickier rubber should help close the gap a little bit more, or at least make the opposite. Make the gap bigger once you get more comfortable with the car as well. I
think that's a great way to put it, and I had not thought about it. So previously on a more stock car, good weather, better tires, we have this lap time, right? Now with less tire, crappier weather,
more arrow,
and and mods, we're kind of in the same place. Right?
Okay, so now we're talking, right? Now what do you think?
Okay, now I'm feeling good. 18s, here we come. No.
Listen, if you pulled off one of those, another skipperoo, where you skip a whole number again.
We'll go from a 21 to a 19. Boom. So yeah, I didn't think about it that way, but that is one way to view mods, right? I didn't get a chance to like really crank out laps in this car, but it also felt like the car felt really good, and I feel like the car is gonna get to a point where it's just gonna be super fun to drive, and it's gonna be able to crank consistent laps, right? Because like my baby girl, the orange car, she's got what did I call it last time?
You one trick pony. It's a one lapper.
She's got some one lap wonders in her that a lot of cars can't match.
Matt's asking the angle of attack for the wing.
I'm at 2 degrees.
2 degrees.
Yeah, I'm at 2 degrees, and I think Larry used to run 5 with no front arrow.
I think that's what he said on the last
Yeah,
slide.
he used to run 5, and I think Matt is currently at 6 or 5, but he's got a huge splitter.
Okay, so now knowing this, now looking at it from that perspective of, dang, worse weather, worse tires. The car is more capable. Now, what do you think, right? Because we have people in the comments that were saying, and not in the live, but people in the comments for the video we dropped yesterday, who were saying, you're not going to see a sub 20 lap in that car in its current condition. Let me see if I can find the exact comments.
I mean,
what do you think?
I'm definitely more positive now that I've thought about it that way. But I still think it's going to be a 20 point something car.
I don't know. So right now, the comment that we got yesterday, I believe you will only hit the low 220s with this setup unless you can get more horsepower. Keep trying. So he's encouraging us. Well, he's encouraging you. Yeah. Because you know me, I'm pushing Miss Daisy out there. But I don't know. Now looking at it from this perspective, when was the last faster lap that you said? When was that?
That faster lap was in a February event. I think like a year and a half ago.
So
it was February weather. So we know February weather is gonna be like 60, 70 degrees, sunny, like just enough sun to where the track likes it. Definitely more ideal.
So I know we usually go to COTA in December. Will the car be, I guess, if the car is ready by then, is that going to be another weekend to attempt to break a 20?
It may have some stickier rubber on it for sure for the December event.
Did you already order the stickier rubber?
I'm looking, Sterling and I are working on getting these tires new because we've been running Pirelli takeoffs and I think that's what I'll end up throwing on it. Brand new Pirellis.
What's wrong with your beloved Hancocks?
I just don't like the feel of the front tire because it's got a super narrow sidewall.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't feel good, and the Pirellis are a little fatter too.
Listen, you see how just in this conversation we have gone from you don't know if it's a sub 220 car to now you're like, hey, you might be right.
Maybe.
Master Apex, I am cheering for you. For my 981 GT4, R7 gives me 4s over older gen. TW200, Treadwell 200, I can't read. RE 71s, not the new REE 71Rs.
Yeah.
Michelin Slick may help you break. See, look at that. Look at that. Master Apex has it on lock for us already.
Dude, and he's one of the OGs because he's running a 981 GT4 and we used to duke it out on track. We were both on the same tires, probably similar setups, and we would always go back and forth. But yeah, I believe him when he said, did he say what lap times he's on? No, he didn't. But I think he's like in the 24s, 25s. He definitely rips it up out there. And the previous car has like 380 horse.
What, we're like 4?
No, it's I think 416 or 420.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Matt said he's running 6 on his wing.
Went down to 4 last weekend. Okay.
Didn't seem to hurt things.
Okay. Well, in my opinion, the least amount of wing you can run, the better.
Because you want the car to rotate more. You want the wing to be there to provide the stability for the rear, but you want the car to rotate as easily as possible.
Yeah, and it's
as safely as possible for everybody on the group too.
Nah. That's like, I'll consider you guys, but it's only to a point. But this makes me think back to when I used to run back to back with Ryan. Ryan was in a GT3 and I was in a RS, and we would come into the carousel. I would be super close to him, right? And then Ryan, like, I would get to a point of where Ryan would kind of like better rotate the car. And I was trying to do the same, right? Where I would throttle release, but I had the 3RS has a bigger wing. So what did I do next time? Took that wing, like took 2 clicks out of the wing, and then we were Gucci through there. But that's how you learn, right? I was like, I couldn't keep up with the GT3 on the same rubber through a sweeper. And it's just because the car had so much wing in it that it was just causing the front end to be light, right?
Yeah, okay. I get what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're dropping. Listen, so I guess let's talk. Let's make it official, because once it goes onto the internet, it's for one a fact, and 2 lives forever. So, what's the verdict then? Are we going to keep pursuing this lap time, or are we going to pivot to trying to see what you can really do in a bone stock 3R. Well, not bone stock. There it has some adjustability there, but in a stock 3RS. Or maybe we start with the GT3.
We should be getting a GT3 by the fall. So that would be cool to kind of take that through its paces like we did the 4RS, but this time like actually modify it. Like not just do, because that one we're not going to need camber plates or any of that stuff like we need for the Cayman. So it's going to arrive and we're going to be able to put it on full kill, run it as is, and then mod it. I think that would be a good next step. One thing I forgot to say is on our GT4, we did put new shocks in it, but the shocks are electronic. So they're currently being controlled by the OEM computer.
Yeah.
And there's a computer that we can install and tune. Matt, get me the DSC box because I'm going to buy it used from Matt. But that should also be a big gain on how quick and we could actually tune the suspension on the car.
Okay.
So kind of just food for thought.
So
right?
we're not done throwing money into the car.
It's good. Yeah, these things they sell used for like $800, $1,000.
Okay, so not terrible,
Not
but
terrible, but
but
yes.
there's some.
But I'm not gonna throw like a $10,000 exhaust at this
Okay,
car.
let's
No,
not do
we're
that.
not gonna do all that.
Okay, but back to the whole conversation with what are we doing? So is it safe to say that when this car comes back, you're going back into the lab to try to get this down to a sub 20?
For sure. Whether that's in December, I mean, even if the car's done for our next ECR, I'm gonna take it out there because I want to start feeling the car, learning the balance. Obviously, the surface will be different, but if I think I need to become one with that car for sure.
Oh man, and I think the next natural progression, because I think this knocks out all the Caymans, right? You get a sub 20 lap in the we'll call it the base model, even though it's not really the base, but the base track variant. I think the next progression is to see what a GT4 or a GT3 RS, can really do.
Yeah.
Because I've seen some of them in the novice groups, and we're just like
Get out of the way.
hunting them boys.
Get out of the way, buddy.
So I mean, maybe that's a different conversation for another day. But I feel like a lot of people are buying 3RSs for a lot of the cool factor because the car is insane.
It's really capable.
It's really insane.
It's really
Like,
capable.
I drove it twice, and I'm like, don't put me in that car ever again.
It just spoils you.
Because it's too good, in my opinion. However, I know somebody's going to argue with me about that. But I don't know.
sure.
What do you think about taking maybe the white car and seeing what we could do in that? Well, seeing what you can do.
I think I think that would be a really good next step. Currently, the car is pretty it's got all stock thrust arms. Like it's basically like a max OEM alignment. I think we're like at 3.5 in the front, 3 in the rear. Not a single aftermarket part. We just have cage harnesses, like the whole safety stuff. So I think it'd be cool to push it like that, and then maybe
Well, I mean, I
put
guess
good tires. I don't know.
to be fair, I mean, does having that half cage provide additional rigidity to the frame that
It
then
does.
gives us a bit of performance? Kind of like adding the what's the bar that goes in the front?
Yeah, like a strut brace.
Like a strut brace. I mean, do we get that same benefit out of doing that?
We do. We definitely do.
So I mean, and
I
I'm only
think
calling it out to be fair, right? I'm only calling it out to be fair because we're saying it's bone stock, but do these parts in effect help the car be? I don't want to say be quicker, but is there a benefit to it?
Yeah, so the benefit is going to make it more rigid. The downside is going to add weight. But some of you, like, I'm not going to say names, but Chris Lampert or whatever. What's your last name? Chris. He's out there in 3 points in a 3RS, matching my lap times. You're crazy, but he's a fighter pilot. So it all makes sense.
Oh yeah,
It all makes sense, but
every time I met a fighter pilot, they were always crazy.
they're
so
always
it's okay.
crazy. Yeah, he's crazy cool. But yeah, so it allows us to put harnesses in the car. That's literally the only reason we do it.
Okay, well,
Ooh, got a question for you guys and see what you think too. Last resort, and only if we have to, should I gut the GT4?
now you're approaching your old drag racing days, where you're talking about. I mean, I guess the what it boils down to me is how much of a gain do you get out of that? Is gutting the car going to drop the weight so much? I mean, it's not like you got a back seat. There's no back seat in that car.
It's got a second seat.
It's got,
Like, pull the seat, pull the carpet. I don't know how much insulation the car has. Leave the center console. I know there's a big carpet that kind of goes behind you. There's an engine. There's an engine carpet. So we'd probably be able to get like 100 and change pounds out of the car.
and based off of your science, how much time do we get back off of that?
How much was that?
I don't
What did we
remember.
say? I think we said 50 pounds was like 3/10.
So you're getting 6/10 back. This is how you know. This is how you know Felix wants that 19. He's already trying to process it. If you get a 20-0, the car's getting gutted. So it doesn't matter. Look, not Melanie this time.
Not Melanie. She's at the gym.
But dude, if you get a O, you're gonna gut the car.
We're gonna have to get the car.
Because when we were talking about the 16,
In
the
the
17.
forest,
When we were talking about the 17, you were talking about what was it? The anti-gravity battery. We were
Yes.
talking about gutting it, and then you got it without even trying.
Bro, with battery, passenger seat, carpets.
So
we
what are you
might-
saying? So what are you saying? Is a GT4 RS a sub 16 car if you gut it?
Probably. Probably.
Listen, guys, somebody help me put him on a leash, because if not, we're gonna have to start putting like full cages in these cars, because you're sending
We
it.
should. We totally should.
You're sending it, and you know, obviously, sending it is cool and all, but safety over here is priority number one.
sure.
And like TJ said, once you find the edge, once you cross it, there's nothing left there except an accident. So
Yeah. Yeah,
try
TJ's
to
always
keep it
like, y'all haven't crashed yet? Whenever he calls in, I'm like, geez, TJ, calm down.
just because
But
he's always crashing, he's not even on the edge yet. Like, come on.
he's doing all that for us. We don't need to go crash. He's crashing for us.
No, I love TJ, man. So listen, I guess you guys heard it here first. If you guys joined the live, you guys are getting the news that as soon as the yellow car comes back, Felix is gonna try to go for it. So sub 219, sub 20.
Sub 20.
Hopefully here we go. And then once we get that done, I mean, the 911s are the only thing left.
Yeah.
Unless you want to take like a base model, like maybe even a GTS to see what we can do with the GTS.
You know, I wouldn't mind having John pick up a GTS and take, because that's not gonna be the GTS. No, it's not. That's not a coilover suspension car. So that one comes with like a regular McPherson strut with the huge coils. So that one would probably that one would see a big gain with just suspension, and then if you put air on that thing, bigger gain. So I think that would be a cool thing to do.
I think Matt's encouraging the sub 16.
Sub 16.
Hey, you don't have to encourage him too much, because look how he's getting about us of 20 laps. So I don't know, Felix. We'll see how things go. We're gonna be out of a yellow car for a little while. Maybe we'll get it back by the time we go to ECR again next month. We only have one more event next month, right?
Yeah.
Next month we'll be at ECR this weekend. So if you guys are gonna go to ECR, we won't have the big truck this weekend because we're gonna be a little lower on cars and drivers. So as always, if you guys see us out there,
Come say hi.
Come say what's up. Bother Felix about more information, because ECR is actually a really, really awesome track to be at. So
Love ECR.
I don't know. Felix, any other closing thoughts?
That's it. Just looking forward to a little bit more track time in the fall. Like he said, we're doing ECR this next weekend. Then we're doing ECR early November with Chin, Coda end of November with PCA, and Coda end of December or mid-December Edge Addicts. So everyone who sees us out there, come say hi.
And hopefully I get my car back, because Felix blew it up. So
Maybe.
all right, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining the live today. If you guys liked it, make sure to like the live, share it out. This will obviously be in the archive. So if you guys are watching this after the fact, Thursdays, usually 4 o'clock. Today was a little bit of an early one, but usually 4 o'clock on Thursdays, we will have a live for you every week. So if you guys have questions, make sure to join. Put them in there, because you can obviously see that we're looking at them, and we'll answer the questions there. Felix?
Unbiased answers is what you're going to get here.
unbiased and potentially unfiltered. And potentially troublesome. But thanks guys for joining. We will catch